Here it is, you guys. Haven't done a video on that. It's my new truck, Mitsubishi Mighty Max. Super stoked to make some videos on that. So here goes our new tow rig for the channel, 2008 Cadillac Escalade. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get the DSS Driveshaft installed on my Galant Vr-4. Remember, I have issues with my memory card being able to make longer videos, so in this one, it'll most likely be removing the stock Driveshaft. But huge thanks to Performance Part Out. This is where I got the Driveshaft from. They had a Galant Vr-4 that was being parted out. I picked up this part off of it, and there was also my gas cap lock. That's what originally got me onto their site. So link of their website and Facebook page will be in the description box. But let's look at the Driveshaft. So I'm replacing it because the carrier bearings are no good. See, super busted, terrible. Imagine that. This one, look at that. Absolutely terrible. So I think there's also washers and stuff that I could have got. I need to look those up. But yeah, it's just a matter of I could remove this part and separate it, or I could just remove it all as in one, which I will probably remove the rear first to get it to droop, unbolt this guy, the carrier bearing itself, and unbolt it from here, and then I should be able to slide it out. I did buy fluid, so if I have to refill it, I will refill it. But, or hopefully I could slide in the new one quick enough. I don't know. Most likely not, though. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this sucker started. I'll start with the rear, which I can't even remember. It's been a while since I've had to mess with this car. So let me get everything all together and let you guys know how to get this done. All right, hopefully you're able to see. So kind of hold this one from spinning and break off the back nut. That was the easiest for me. So I'm going to continue doing this on the rest of them. Okay, oddly enough, the next one is a 13mm nut and still 12mm in the front. So, kind of weird. Don't forget to spin the drive shaft to release your e-brake. And let's try to get this one off now. Got it. Alright, so one thing I didn't know, which I do know now, every other one seems to be 12mm nut than a 13mm, so every other, the nut is bigger. I don't know if that's just how mine is, or if that's just how my car, yeah, I don't know if that's just how my car was put back together, or if that's stock. So keep that in mind. You're going to have 13mm or 12mm nuts. Now, it's time to come to the carrier bearings right up here. Now, if you're putting in the DSS drive shaft and you're not replacing the rear like I am, you just unbolt it right here. You unbolt it right here, and you remove the front half of it. But for me, I want to replace it all because this carry bearing is trash, and the other one is much nicer. So 14mm nuts on these. Okay, depending on your exhaust, you may have to undo it to get to this one here, and that one that I was trying to get to, I used different attachments, I couldn't get to it. So I do have a broken hanger right there. I do need to get that fixed, but I removed that hanger. I think there was these two here, and then I undid one bolt on the exhaust up here. So hopefully you guys can kind of see this. Now I'm able to get to that bolt and get to that bolt. And remember, 14mm deep socket to get to those. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get that off, get this off, and then pull the drive shaft out. Hopefully I can leave the exhaust attached. The event coming up, I'm debating if I'm going to remove the exhaust, but I technically can't because this broke. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay, I ended up undoing the exhaust here. It's easier if you just remove the exhaust, but I'm being a little lazy. I'm wondering if I have to remove this heat shield to fit the DSS drive shaft. I have a feeling that's a possible thing I'm gonna have to do, which I'm debating if I just want to remove it or leave it. It's just these bolts up here. When this one comes off, there's that. I think there's probably something behind this. Yep, and then there's that one. I think that's it. So I am going to remove that heat shield right now. So yeah, I'm going to remove it. So what I'll do is I'll start with this one, and I'll just hold the drive shaft in place with just that one bolt, and I will hit off all these little 10mm, 10 or 12s probably, and get this shield off. Alright, took me a minute to decide what the heck I'm going to do. I decided to add on the second half of the drive shaft while it's off the car. Good thing I did. I don't have anything in my hex key set that'll fit in here. None of these guys will fit in there. Okay? It's a very tight space. Extremely tight space. So I went to my drive bit set. Whoops. And in here, I grabbed the 7mm. Okay? So how I ended up tightening it, I put it in there, just like that. Then I use a 7mm wrench to tighten them. Obviously, I can't get it too tight. So they're on pretty snug as I can get it with the drive shaft spinning on the floor. What I will do now is I'll install the drive shaft, put the e-brake on, and then go back and tighten those one by one as much as I can. So hopefully that'll work. and hopefully I will do it tight enough. But now it's all one piece. I'm going to slide the old drive shaft out and then slide the new one in, and then I will go to the carrier bearing, lift up the carrier bearing, probably get this on, and then I will go to the rear and get those 4 bolts on the rear end. So really it is easy, guys. It's just your exhaust might come into play, and depending if you're taking these bolts off before on how snug they are, and mine's been touched a couple times, so not that bad. So now I'm gonna set up the camera, I think, on this side and pull out the drive shaft. Let's install the new one. Yeah, I hardly spilled any fluid. Now let's go ahead and line up this carrier bearing and get this installed. Whew. All right, one thing I did just learn is before you put on that carrier bearing, line up the rear first, the rear of the freaking drive shaft. Line that up, or else this is gonna kind of crink and it's gonna hit up top. So you can't do this first without lining those up. So keep that in mind. Actually, looks pretty good now. Doesn't look like it's gonna hit. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these guys up and go from there. Remember the nut, it goes 12 millimeter, 13, 12, 13. They are opposite corners or same corners right across from each other. 13's across, 12's across, if that's an easier way to remember. So maybe it's just my car, or maybe all rear ends are like that for the DSMs and the Galant Vr-4s, but that's how mine is. Remember, I do have the 4-bolt rear end as well on this car. So I'm going to go ahead and get these on. Alright, so on the rear end, somehow I screwed it up. I put the two 13s beside each other and the two 12s by each other. I'm sure it's fine. If you do it, I recommend doing it the correct way. Or if it's not even the correct way, I don't know, but I'm not going to go back and fix it. It is what it is. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to come back and tighten these up. There is a white line on this bolt here, so I'm going to put the e-brake on, tighten up these three as much as I can, and then pull the e-brake off and rotate this and get the other three bolts. There's a total of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Go pull the e-brake, and then I'll show you guys how I tightened out those bolts up. All right, now I've rotated it. Now I'm going to tighten up the other 3. Okay guys, those are nice and tight. Okay, those guys are nice and tight as well. Seems like I have all the clearance in the world. Yep, there it goes, guys. No issues. There it goes. It's ready, guys. Now all I gotta do is double check the fluid and or top off the fluid and do a quick oil change. I'm going to put the exhaust on, so I'll put you guys on a quick time lapse of putting the exhaust back on, and I will pull the old drive shaft out. Okay, there it goes, guys. How to remove the stock drive shaft. Ooh, a little dusty. And how to install the new one. So I put the exhaust back up, and this is extremely close. Exhaust is very close. I'm sure it's because of this one broken. This is supposed to kind of keep it away. So this broken does not help, this exhaust hanger, which I will get that fixed. It's pretty far extended out, surprisingly. Wow, that is very far out. But it's installed, guys. There it is. And I am super stoked to get this guy back on the road. I wish I kind of measured on how long this guy is. But yeah, it's on, it's installed. Ugh. I'm not going to top off the fluid. I always over top them off when I refilled it the last time, so I'm not worried about it. I hardly lost anything. I just got to do an oil change, wash her up, get her ready for race at the track, as long as the oil is nice and clean, which I'm hoping it is. But I think this is where I'll end this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and check out Performance Part Out. There are links in the description box. And yeah, guys, thanks for all the support. No more Sentra. She gone.